by True Moo Ice Cream and Novelties, a truly good thing, now in the freezer aisle. And by Chrysler. One of the great stories in baseball this year, J.D. Martinez, and he'll try and extend his hitting streak tonight on a warm and muggy evening here tonight at Globe Life Park. We're in Arlington, Texas. So as we get you ready for baseball this evening, Tigers and the Texas Rangers. Tigers starting lineup presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and it looks like this. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera at the top of the Tigers lineup. Victor Martinez currently on the road trip batting .350. He is followed by J.D. Martinez at left, Castellanos at third, and a bottom three of Jackson, Avila, and Eugenio Suarez.
Let's take a look at the starting defensive alignment brought to you by Tim Hortons. They've got Chu in the outfield along with Martin and Rios. Sardinas is getting the start at second base tonight. Andrews, he's the shortstop. Beltre Boy, he has worn out Tigers pitching this year. He's anchored at third base, and Carlos Pena is at first, and Robinson Chirinos is the catcher.
Well, here are selections tonight for the McDonald's Player of the Game. It is brought to you by the McDonald's Frozen Strawberry Lemonade, only at McDonald's. And, well, I'm going to go with Rick Porcello tonight in search of his 10th win of the season.
And Torrey Hunter chipped in with one knock last night after missing several games with that hamstring. I think he's going to do something positive here today against the starter, Nick Martinez.
And Austin Jackson is the selection of Trevor Thompson. Those are our selections here in this ball game tonight. The Tigers are facing Nick Martinez, the 23-year-old right-hander.
He checks in with a 1-4 record, but his last couple of starts, quality starts, he has not given up a lot of runs, but their offense, they have not scored many runs for him. Overall this year, you look at the strikeouts to walks, that's way too many walks for the amount of strikeouts that he has, and the league is hitting .295 against Martinez.
Well, one guy he's going to have to deal with tonight is Ian Kinsler, who so far this season has done some really good work against his former team, and there's probably no hiding the fact that he loves playing against Texas.
Well, Ian Kinsler's just a baller. Let's make that a known fact. And you add in the fact that he has done a lot of damage playing right here in this particular ballpark. His numbers here in this yard, way better than any ballpark that he's ever played in the big league. So he's awfully comfortable when he comes back here.
And, of course, Ian had that home run in his first at-bat a couple of nights ago in Game 1 in this series. In his return to Arlington, Texas. And we are set for baseball this evening. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera facing the right-hander, Nick Martinez. Brad Ausmus has a team right now riding a 6-game winning streak, and the Tigers are 10 games over 500 now. So certainly they have righted the ship. Meanwhile, for Ron Washington, well, it's been an injury-plagued and riddled season. In his 8th year now as the Ranger skipper. And he's brought them to the World Series a couple of times. So Kinsler steps in. We're ready for baseball, and the first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike called on Kinsler.
Martinez will go anywhere from 89 to 93 miles an hour with his fastball. That's the four-seam fastball. He also has a cutter, a slider, and a changeup.
It was a high pop-up in the shallow left field. The shortstop, Andrews, is under it, and Kinsler is retired, one gone. We'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey batting .266, was 1 for 4 in his return to the lineup last night. Picked up an RBI as well. And he is batting in the 2 slot for the Tigers. Martinez missing outside, 1 ball to no strikes. Torrey now 36 RBIs on the year. He missed about 7 games with a sore hamstring. And he shoots this one on the ground to the shortstop. Andrews will handle this one as well. And Hunter is out, 2 gone. A couple of quick outs for Nick Martinez. So now here is Cabrera with the bases empty. 317 overall now for Miggy, but in this ballpark, boy, he just really lights it up. 374 career.
He has that classic inside-out swing, and he loves to drive the ball into right center field. And we've well documented the times that we have come to this ballpark that the ball really travels in that direction where it's Miggy's strength.
We'll look at ball one from Martinez.
22 hits the opposite way for Miguel, 34 straightaway center field, and 34 to left.
And shaded the other way, just a tad in the outfield. A little bit of room to left center. 2-0 on Miguel Cabrera. 1 for 8 in this series. He's had 6 hits on the road trip, a trip that started with a 3-game sweep in Cleveland. And that is in for a strike, 2-1. 69 driven in for Miguel. Martinez in search of the 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Lifted in the air toward left center. Shading his eyes is Chu, and now it's going to drop. Chu from the get-go was having trouble with that sun in left center field, and it falls in for a 2-out hit.
Well, when Ian Kinsler popped up to lead off the game to the shortstop, Andrews, Chu never saw the ball. And as soon as this ball goes up, he doesn't see it. He doesn't even know where the ball's at. And he finally picks it up, and it's too late for him to get there.
Sometimes even the sunglasses don't help. So the Tigers get a 2-out single from Miguel Cabrera. We'll bring up Victor Martinez. Well, the beat goes on for Victor. 4 for 9 in this series. He continues to swing a hot bat. Hit his 20th home run in last night's ball game. And he takes a strike right at the belt, 0-1. Martinez has 7 hits on this road trip. You see the numbers in this series. He's knocked in 3, has a couple of doubles.
Victor Martinez came to spring training in great shape this year. The legs are stronger than they've ever been. His upper body bigger than it's ever been, and the results, look at the big boy categories, 20 home runs, and also you look at on-base percentage, you look at slugging percentage, you look at total bases. Victor Martinez is right up there, 1, 2, or 3 in all of those categories.
Yeah, the slugging percentage numbers are way up this year for Martinez, and as you mentioned, he's been among the league leaders. In fact, only Jose Abreu has a better slugging percentage in the American League. Here's the 1-1. Right back up the middle into center field. He shot it right by Martinez, and the Tigers now have 2 aboard.
Anything up in the strike zone these days, and it really doesn't matter which side he's swinging the bat from. He is just barreling up everything. Great balance, great hip rotation, and his bat speed is awfully quick.
And that is his 5th hit in this series. Now J.D. Martinez, who's become the talk of the town for the Tigers, a 14-game hitting streak. J.D. with 9 home runs now. He is on pace to hit 20 home runs this year, and he spent really the most part of April in the minor leagues. And he looks at a strike from Martinez. J.D. 4 out of 9 in the series. You see the month of May hit 279. The month of June 369. Wave and a miss.
J.D. has been so hot that he is going to play every day, which means that Brad Ausmus has to shuffle his lineup between Jackson, Davis, and Hunter as to who will be the other 2 who play on any given night. But right now, J.D. Martinez is not coming out of the starting lineup.
And it's typically going to be a guy that certainly deserves to play that's going to have to sit down. There's a bluff back to second. Cabrera jockeying off the bag, and Martinez making sure he didn't get too far.
Yeah, Rajay Davis in last night's game led off with a triple and scored in the very first inning. A couple of days ago, Jackson had a couple of hits, but he couldn't even play in last night's game. So it's going to be quite the juggling act for Brad Ausmus here for the next couple of weeks.
High fly ball, left center field. Shin-Soo Choo is under this one, struggling, but he makes the catch. Boy, left field's an adventure in the early goings. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left.
Take a look at their center fielder, Leonis Martin. He's trying to help out Choo, but the fact of the matter is he's calling the ball, and he called it multiple times, but Choo, the left fielder, he failed to take his eye off the baseball to take a look at where his center fielder was, and they almost had a collision.
Well, here is the Texas starting lineup tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Leonis Martin leading it off, then Elvis Andrus and Shin-Soo Choo. Meanwhile, Adrian Beltre just continues to crush Tigers pitching, followed by Rios and Pena, Chirinos, Choice, and Sardinas in the bottom 3 tonight for Ron Washington. And they're facing the right-hander Rick Porcello, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Love Ricky P. He is cool as a cucumber out there, looking for win number 10 this year. Didn't get his 10th win, his 9th win, last year until August 14th. He's pitched some really good baseball this year, and usually when he takes the mound, he gives the Tigers a legitimate chance of winning that game.
So here is Leonis Martin leading it off for the Rangers, and he looks at a Porcello pitch missing outside, 1-0. Martin, Andrus, and Shin-Soo Choo in the first inning for the Rangers. .270 batting average for the Texas leadoff man. Shows bunts. He is very adept at that. He can bunt for a base hit. He can sacrifice. And he's got Castellanos in tight at third base on the grass. A baseball loose out in left field, I believe. Or something. No, Martinez needed sunglasses.
Yeah, he went out there without him. I noticed that. I saw Jackson didn't have any, and I noticed JD didn't have any either. And due to the struggles that Choo had out there in the first inning, I'm like, what are you doing?
You can see the sun splashing out in left and left center. It gave Choo fits in that first inning. It was a ball high from Porcello.
That is the worst feeling in the world if you go out to your position and you do not have your glasses and the ball is hit to you and you lose it in the sun or you lose it in the lights.
That's what the left fielder is looking at in the early part of this game. Bouncer back up the middle. Suarez had him played nicely. Couple of steps to his left. And Martinez out of there.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defensive alignment. It is presented by Beaumont Health System this evening. Martinez, Jackson, Hunter in the outfield. Suarez, Kinsler up the middle. Castellanos and Miggy on the corners. And Alex Avila back behind the plate tonight. Brian Holiday caught last night on TCU night here
right?
At Globe Life Park.
He had all those peeps in the ballpark.
He had a ton of folks here last night.
Here's the Bernstein advantage. It belongs to Rick Porcello. He certainly has the Bernstein advantage over Elvis Andrus. Only 2 for 15 for Elvis. 3 strikeouts in that span as well. Andrus batting .268. Strike 1 on Andrus.
That is something that Porcello does very well. Usually strike 1 on just about every hitter. He doesn't walk a lot of batters. And by him getting ahead, it allows him to get to the changeup. It allows him to get to that curveball. And it allows him to win a lot of games.
What do you make of that curveball this year?
I don't like the curve as much this year as the changeup. The changeup has been a much improved pitch for him. He's thrown quite a few curveballs to get ahead in counts, but it's been his changeup that he's kind of put hitters away with and elevating the fastball every now and then.
The 0-2 is inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Andrus. Now Porcello at 3.76 ERA. Yes, he has won 9 games, but that ERA in pretty good shape as well. Making his 15th start. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Elvis Andrus. Porcello beat the Indians his last time out. 6 shutout innings on Friday. Now the 2-2. Line drive right field. It'll drop in right in front of Hunter, and it rolls by him. Jackson will back him up. On his way to second is Elvis Andrus. And the Rangers have a man in scoring position now. More than likely a single E9.
We've seen Torrey Hunter do this quite a few times this year. Overcharging the single and giving up an extra base hit or a base hit in an air. As Andrus now in scoring position.
So some trouble now for Porcello to pitch out of. Shin-Soo Choo will stand in.
That's the 5th error that the Tigers have made in this series.
Yeah, here they are going for the sweep tonight. Choo has really been struggling. A couple of hits in the ball game last night, and now Porcello will walk out to the mound.
Here's what I was talking about regarding Rick Porcello and the changeup, and he's used the changeup very effectively against left-handers. This batting average of 158 against the Porcello changeup this year. Jeff Jones went into the season. He wanted him to use it more, and he has used it, and he's not afraid to use it, especially against left-handed batters.
Pretty good names on that list.
For sure.
Choo, despite the 2 hits last night, still struggling overall this year. In fact, he started out pretty good, but has really cooled off. Trying to drive in a run here with 1 out. We're in the 1st inning. It has been a month of June in which Choo has hit 147. That's it. This one is hit in the air to left. J.D. Martinez under it. And Choo is out. 2 gone.
The way that Adrian Beltre has been swinging the bat the entire year against Tigers pitching, and really you can go back further than that. You can go back to the beginning of the 2012 season. No hitter in the American League has been better than Beltre. Now they've got a base open. I would consider pitching around him right now. I really would in the 1st inning.
Well, here's why. 7 of 8 in this series. 15 of 23 in the season series.
But look at the damage he's done since the beginning of the 2012 season. Nearly hitting 500.
You could not be criticized if you did indeed walk him here. He'll look at ball 1 inside from Porcello. Beltre, 38 RBIs this season, and as you look at his career numbers against Porcello, well, there's just more ammunition.
Well, shame on Rick if he allows a base hit to Beltre here.
Fouls straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it just seems like he's getting a good swing at everything. That's a 2-seam fastball that he wanted to wrap around the plate outside. May have gotten a little bit too much plate there.
Andrews aboard at second base, singled and advanced on the air by the right fielder Hunter. He's there with 2 outs. Two balls and 1 strike on Beltre. That .328 batting average that he sports is 3rd in the American League, and he leads all hitters in the month of June at nearly 400. He's batting .390 this month. Missed it outside, 3-1. You really wonder, Rod, where the Rangers would be had it not been for Beltre with all the firepower there missing out of their lineup.
Here's a slider that he checked his swing on it. He pulled a Miguel Cabrera here. Look at him point down to Tim Timmons, the first base umpire, to ask him for a check.
I believe that's a patented move by Cabrera. So he may have to pay some royalties on that. 3-1. And Rick wanted no part of him, so he's going to walk him. Going to put runners at first and second, and Porcello now will try his luck against Alex Rios. For Rios, a .312 batting average, but he has not done a whole lot in this series. 0 for 7 with an RBI.
And his power numbers aren't very good either. I think Adrian Beltre, if he continues to sizzle in the month of June, a lot of teams are not going to mess with him. They're going to simply go after Rios. Rios may get a base hit. He might get an extra base hit, but he has not been hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Standing in now with 2 on, 2 outs. Rios has not hit a homer now in his last 36 games, which for him is a pretty long drought. Ball away from Porcello, 1-0. Rick started the inning by getting Martin to bounce out. Then Andrews singled to right field, moved to second in the air by Hunter. 1 out later, a walk to Beltre. Foul tip into the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, good two-seam fastball there at 91 miles an hour thrown by Porcello. That's his signature pitch. And you could just see the late life on that. It looked like a fastball that was going to end up on the inside part of home plate, and it ended up 3 inches off of home plate inside.
So it's 2-1 now on Rios. Rick came in tied for 3rd in the American League with his 9 wins. And he missed again. Now it's 3-1 on Rios. Carlos Pena waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. Lifted back out of play and foul down the right field line. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why he's not hitting for much power. He got himself in a 3-1 count, and he got a fastball that was basically right down the middle, and he was tardy on it.
Well, Porcello 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. The runners will be on the move here with 2 outs. Here's the 3-2. Another foul back out of play. Another fastball that he's tardy on. Alex Rios has been in the big leagues for quite a while now. He came up in the Toronto organization, a former first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. Spent some time in Chicago and now here in Texas. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Porcello pitches through the trouble here in the first inning. That's his first strikeout of the game. Rangers lead 2, and we go to the second.
Showing in that pitch. He throws it here with runners on first and second and a 3-2 count to Rios. The previous 3 pitches were fastballs. He was tardy on those, so he came back with this really good change piece down at the bottom of the zone to get himself out of the inning.
And so we go to the second in a scoreless game. Here's Nick Castellanos to lead it off. Castellanos, Jackson, and Avila facing the right-hander Nick Martinez.
And Castellanos likes to swing early and often, especially if you give him a first pitch fastball.
And he swings and sends this one in the air, but straight at Chu. He started back, and now he'll pull in. It's going to drop in for a base hit.
Oh, Chu is having some issues out there.
My goodness. It looked like he had a beat on that ball all the way, and then it just dropped in front of him.
Castellanos did take a big swing, and I think he was fooled by the swing because he took 5 steps back before he recovered. And by the time he recovered, very nonchalantly coming in to pick up the baseball after Castellanos gets himself a bloop single.
Well, that's just it. Even if he did lose that ball, once he picked it up, you would think that he would not have been so nonchalant. I'm wondering if he never saw that one either. Even with the shade now starting to take effect in the left, he apparently lost another one. There's a ball outside to Jackson. Now, if you're Nick Martinez, the starting pitcher, that's got to be a little bit frustrating because that's 2 balls now that should have been outs.
No doubt. But a very young pitcher like Martinez, the one thing that he can't do is show frustration in one of his teammates. I mean, you might want to go in the clubhouse and do something like that, but not on the field. Jackson swings and misses. That's his best pitch, probably the slider. And he throws it quite often to the right-handed batter. With fastball 92, 93, but his slider, he gets lots of outs with that particular pitch.
A couple of hits in the series for Austin. He had 2 hits the other way in game 1, including a double. Chirinos flashing the signals behind the dish. And he missed with a fastball high.
Brett Austin said that he was so impressed with Austin's approach a couple of days ago that he almost played him last night instead of Rajai Davis. And Rajai Davis had a big offensive game the very first game here in Texas.
Yes, it's going to be difficult going forward as long as J.D. Martinez stays hot, deciding who to play or who sits on any given night.
Yeah, J.D. is on a different planet right now.
Tigers have their 3rd hit of the game. They have the leadoff man on here in the second. Jackson batting .253 for the Tigers. And the 2-1. 2-2 on Jackson.
Tigers love playing away from Comerica Park. And there's the facts. And the batting average, the home runs, runs per game, all that on this current 5-game road trip.
Here's another fact. The Tigers overall 10 games over 500 on the road this year.
Yeah, just 500 at home.
Now the 2-2. Jackson straightens up and a ball inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Austin.
I don't think it would be very wise here with nobody out and the catcher behind the plate, Robinson Chirinos, being one of your better throwers in the American League, to allow Castellanos to vacate first base on this 3-2 offering for Martinez.
Well, Chirinos has thrown out 18 this year, so it would be risky.
If Jackson strikes out, it would end badly.
Runner holds in the air to center field. Leonis Martin. 1 out.
Kind of hard to figure out why the team is so good on the road and why they just have kind of struggled this season at Comerica Park.
Well, there you have it. 23-13, better even than Oakland, who's having a marvelous season.
You'd have to think that their numbers will get better at Comerica Park because really the last 3 seasons they've won over 50 games in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you would think they would have to. Certainly in the second half, I'm bored on that. I mean, the Tigers have been such a good home team, and I don't know, maybe they've been going poorly when they have been playing home games. This has been a good stretch. There's a base hit to right field. Castellanos will hold his second base, and Avila's having himself a nice series. That's his 4th hit. 2 on, 1 out. Now Suarez will stand in. Got his average up to 280 with a 3-hit performance in this series. A couple of doubles. Three home runs. Those were hit early as soon as he became a Tiger a couple of weeks ago. Got a chance to drive in the game's first run here. There's a ball outside, 1-0.
Castellanos at second base going to have to get a good secondary lead. And Rios in right field has a good arm. Their center fielder Martin also has a very good arm. Chu has a good arm too, but he's not running well right now. So he might have a difficult time of charging and getting off a good throw to home plate should Suarez single in that direction.
1-1. I don't know if you saw the article that Steve Kornacki wrote recently on FoxSportsDetroit.com about Suarez getting the number 30, which of course was the old number that Maglio Ordonez wore. And Suarez really loved watching Ordonez play. And look at a ball outside, and it was by chance that he got the number 30. Jim Schmeichel, just the Tigers clubhouse guy, just gave him number 30. And when Eugenio got it, he was pleased because he'd always been a big Maglio fan.
Maglio has been and was one of the classiest Tigers that I've been around since I've been broadcasting Tigers games. I mean, he was a legitimate, first-class human being.
And Suarez wearing that number probably. Ordonez did so many great things on the field as a Tiger. Of course, he joined the Tigers when things weren't really going so well in the Motor City. But now Suarez wearing the number 30 proudly. 2 balls, 2 strikes. High fly ball center field. Martin has been busy in this one. He backs up, and now the right fielder Rios is going to make the catch.
Now that appeared to be the second time here today where Martin, the center fielder, is calling the baseball. And one time the left fielder took it. Now this time the right fielder takes it. The center fielder is the captain in the infield. He's the captain.
Well,
in the outfield, excuse me.
Martin may be getting a bit of an inferiority complex here.
Well, it didn't look like he was all that certain about that play.
He wasn't as sure as he was in the other one. So Rios was able to make the play, and with 2 outs, here is Ian Kinsler. You have a faction of fans here that are booing him lustily, but you also have a big group of fans that are giving Kinsler a nice round of applause every time he comes up. There's a ball outside.
Ian Kinsler plays the game with a chip on his shoulder. And when he comes to the ballpark every single night, not a lot of smiles. He just wants to beat up on the other team, regardless of who that team is.
There's a ball outside. 2-0 on Kinsler.
And Kinsler told me that when he played in this particular ballpark, because the ball does fly to left field, when he would get himself in these types of counts, he would simply cheat with the front foot to open up to see if he could lift something to left field to hit into the seats.
(3-0). Well, he sure loves to hit in this ballpark, doesn't he?
He sure does. Look at that. 305 batting average here. More home runs, better slugging percentage. Just 248 in other ballparks, and really there's not a huge differential in games played.
And he lost in ball 4, so Kinsler gets a walk on 4 pitches. That's going to load him up now, and Martinez flirting with disaster here as Hunter comes up. And then it would be Cabrera. So Torrey, who bounced out his first time up, bats with the bases loaded in a scoreless game in the second. And Martinez will step off. Nick Martinez played his college ball at Fordham University. And in college, he was more of a second baseman than a pitcher. In fact, he would just pitch in relief every now and then. All of a sudden, here he is in the big leagues in a starting rotation. And he missed inside, 1-0. Martinez wasn't even in big league camp this year. He would come over from the minor league side a couple of times to pitch. But the Rangers' rotation has been so ravaged that it has opened up some opportunities. Here's the 1-0. Way high, 2-0. And now he's in real trouble, and that's going to bring Mike Maddox, their pitching coach, running out of the dugout.
Mike Maddox has made a lot of trips to the mound in the series. Their pitching staff is the worst in the American League. They came in with a 4.61 ERA as a squad. And really, he's done marvelous work here. Maddox in the last couple of years, their ERA sub-4, but with all the injuries this year, they just don't have the personnel.
No, it's been a challenge. I mean, they've got frontline guys that are out, not to mention all the offensive pieces. One of those years for the coaching staff for the Rangers, they really had to buckle down and exert some patience as well.
And Ron Washington, their manager, said last night, we may not be the most talented team on the field on any given night, but that doesn't mean we can't go out and play a really good baseball game.
There's a strike call, 2-1. Martinez, only 23 years of age. He hails from Hialeah, Florida. And he missed. 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, if he loses Torrey here, not only does it force in a run, now you got to face Cabrera.
Especially with the damage that Miggy has done overall in his career against the Texas Rangers.
3 3-ball counts in this inning. And he lost in ball 4. That'll force in a run. A bases loaded walk to Torrey Hunter, and the Tigers lead 1-0. Castellanos coming in to score. And now perhaps the fun begins. Here is Cabrera.
Not a lot of places where you can get Miguel Cabrera out. That 391, that 300 at the top, that's away from him. 333 down the middle, 467. He loves the ball down and in. He's got a small window where you can get him out. And that would be right around the belt buckle, inside and above that. Other than that, Miggy has no hole.
No.
So if you look at that piece of information that we just showed you, you pretty much have to be perfect every time you pitch against Miguel, or he's going to do some kind of damage against you.
1 ball, no strikes to Miguel Cabrera, batting with the bases loaded. Tigers have scored a run. And it's in there, a strike called. 1-1 the count.
Just about every pitch that Martinez has thrown to Torrey Hunter and now Miguel Cabrera have been fastballs. He's not trusting his breaking ball. And he will not throw his changeup to right-handed batters.
Well, this will be his 25th pitch in this half inning here. And he missed with it inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. $25 of them now this half inning for Nick Martinez. Here's the 2-1. Driven high in the air to center field. Martin going back. He's going to have room. Edge of the warning track to retire the side. Miggy gave it a ride, but not deep enough. Tigers settled for one, and the bases loaded walk.
Fielders of the Texas Rangers. This happened back in the first inning. It's a blue single. Chu, you can see him battling the sun out there, and the ball simply drops in front of him. That's Miguel Cabrera. Then he's calling one. That's the center fielder. Chu gets in his way, and then last half inning, there's another play where the center fielder's arguably calling the baseball, and then the right fielder cuts in front of him.
That'd be a great name for a ride at Six Flags. Adventures in the Outfield.
Exactly.
It has been that kind of start for the Texas Rangers. It is 1-0. Here's Carlos Pena. He'll start things off. There's a ball outside. Are you a roller coaster guy?
No, do not like him at all.
You answered that pretty quickly.
I don't like him.
I hate him too. We've got members of our crew that just love it.
I know. They went a couple days ago.
Joe Nicola loves it. Our producer, Mark Dorsey, our tape guy, just loves that stuff. Good for them. Here's the 1-0.
Anything named Titan, I don't want to mess with it.
Apparently there's something called the Texas Giant here.
Don't want to mess with him either.
Pena, Chirinos, and Choice here in the second for the Rangers. They've got the shift on for Carlos Pena.
Carlos had a decent night last night. He homered. He also singled against his former club, and also hit a bullet right at Miguel Cabrera in one of his other at-bats. So he was seeing the baseball very nicely last night against the starter, Anibal Sanchez.
And Porcello deals a strike. 1-2 on Carlos Pena. Former Tiger who found himself back at home after he was released in spring training by the Angels. He really didn't perform all that well this spring. They cut him loose on March the 23rd. Here's that shift that they're playing. Here's the 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos was talking to our Trevor Thompson for the pregame show, and he mentioned that, with the Angels, there really wasn't going to be much opportunity because Albert Pujols was healthy again. And so he was back home, and the Rangers gave him a call, and Mitch Moreland suffered an injury. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off.
They got a spot here called the beef brisket, and last night it's a changeup from Anibal Sanchez, flipped to right field by Carlos Pena for his first home run as a Tiger, and he hit it right out there in a beef brisket.
Beef brisket? He did not hit it right in the beef brisket.
You just saw it. Somebody's hit it right out there. Somebody's food.
That's a plant. Here's the 2-2.
Can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. Right into the beef brisket. Jim Knox at the Fox Sports Southwest.
He was all over it.
Yeah, he was, man. Just diving right into that brisket. 2-2 on Pena.
He could use his changeup right here, but he has to make sure he gets it down and away from Pena to get strike 3, as he did to Alex Rios. But they're going to go with the two-seam fastball instead.
Down he goes. Second strikeout for Rick.
Yeah, Vila called for the fastball, four-seam variety, and it's right down the middle. Pena swung right through it.
Here's Robinson Chirinos. Snapped it over 13 slump with a couple of hits in last night's ball game. 2 out of 7 in the series. And Chirinos this year has hit 6 home runs. He's knocked in 22. Seems like every one of their positions has been hampered by injuries, including catching. Giovanni Soto is injured, knee injury.
That has really given Chirinos an opportunity to play.
He did not like that last call, however.
Jerks and Profar, their standout second baseman. He hasn't played all year.
Here's the 0-1. And he'll get back out of play. Porcello surrendered a single, then he pitched Ron Beltran, walked him in the first inning, but struck out Rios to strand a couple. Rick now with the 0-2. Busted him inside and missed with it. 1-2. Rick earlier this year was hit pretty good by these Rangers. They scored 7 earned runs against him in 5 1/3. He was back at Comerica Park. Swing and a miss. Well, Chirinos strikes out.
3 straight strikeouts recorded by Rick Porcello. There's that changeup. He's fearless with it. Actually, that's a two-seam fastball. Looked like a changeup initially, but that's a two-seamer to strike out Chirinos.
He's going to bring up Michael Choice. 186 batting average so far this year for Choice. He's got an RBI in the series. And he sends a ground ball to the right side, right at Cabrera. Miggy will take it himself. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Third inning, and we talked about Victor at the top of the show today. Already 20 home runs
by Victor Martinez, and he's not that many away from his career high. He's hitting them right-handed. He's hitting them left-handed. Victor said he is stronger this year than he's ever been, and the results have been outstanding. And not only is he doing that, he is second in the American League in batting, so hitting for average and hitting for power.
He has done it all, yet in the voting, the All-Star voting, he's third among designated hitters. But it's going to be hard to keep this guy off the All-Star team. 330, 20 homers, 52 RBIs. He is 4 for 9 in this series.
One of the things that's going to help Victor get onto the team this year is the fact that he can play first base and he can also catch.
Of course, the All-Star game can be seen on Fox on July 15th.
And to be perfectly honest with you, he should be the starting catcher because Matt Wieters is not going to catch.
Did Wieters have his Tommy John?
I believe he did have Tommy John.
Yeah, he was the leader really from the get-go.
Still is.
Martinez, Castellanos. And the Tigers third. Nick Martinez missing outside. He had trouble with his control in the last half inning. Really all-star numbers right now.
So if you're John Farrell, I mean, you could very easily put Victor Martinez behind the plate. John Farrell will manage the American League All-Star team this year. Victor played for John Farrell. You know, well, excuse me, he played for Boston. John Farrell wasn't there then.
It would be an easier way to get, or an easy way to get Martinez on the team.
Well, if there was another catcher in the American League that was really having a standout year, you could say, okay, Victor hasn't caught that much this season. But due to the fact that he is a catcher and he can catch, if Wieters is done, I mean, it could be Victor starting.
And there's another walk. So Martinez beginning this inning like he pitched in the second when he walked a couple of batters, one with the bases loaded. And now he'll deal with J.D. Martinez. Fly out in the first inning, batting .317, J.D. Trying to extend that 14-game hitting streak. Swing and a miss. JD not only has the longest current streak in the American League, but he's creeping up on Markakis of Baltimore, who had the longest streak this year. It ended back in May for Markakis, but he had an 18-gamer. And JD 4 shy of that. Swing and a miss, and it was not an aggressive swing there by JD.
Two comfortable swings taken by JD Martinez on breaking balls.
One of the longest current major league streaks. 14 for JD. Adam Eaton has a 12-gamer, and Hanley Ramirez over in the National League a 10-gamer.
Look at the power department. 6 homers, 17 driven in for JD during his 14-gamer.
Chirinos knocks that one down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers got a run in the second. Bases loaded walk to Torrey Hunter. And then Martinez had to face Miguel Cabrera and got him to fly out to center field, limiting the damage. Missed it inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Nick Martinez now is about to throw his 50th pitch of this game. He has had the base runners in every inning so far. High fly ball, right field. Playable for Rios, coming toward the line. And Martinez is out. He is 0 for 2. 1 gone. Well, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here is Nick Castellanos. He got the party started back in the second with a single that eventually scored on the bases loaded walk to Torrey Hunter. And it's a strike on the outside corner. Martinez has gotten 6 fly ball outs tonight, only 1 on the ground. And the Tigers have been hitting the ball in the air this evening. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Tigers' third baseman, Nick Castellanos. Tigers have seen Martinez once already this year. In fact, Nick Martinez got his first big league win against Detroit back on May 24th. That was at Comerica Park. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings. And here are the numbers. His first career major league win came against the Tigers. Walked only 1 in that game, but he has 3 already in this game, and he missed outside again.
He is living dangerously in this contest. He has been behind just about every single Tigers hitter that has come to the plate tonight.
Yet another 3-ball count. That is the 5th of this game already for Martinez. Austin Jackson waiting on deck.
And Castellanos will take advantage of the fastball if he gets it here.
3-2.
He did get the fastball, but he tried to do too much with it. Instead of simply hitting the ball in the gap, looked like Nick Castellanos was trying to hit it into the seats.
Full count, 3-2. Pulled foul down the left field line. Right out in front of that fastball and ripped it. Pitch right at the belt. Castellanos turned on it, could not keep it fair. Nick has a couple of hits in this series, 6 on the road trip for the Tigers. And he shoots this one in the air to left field. On the run is Chu. He's not going to get it up against the wall. Martinez coming to third base. They'll stop in there. Castellanos has a 2-base hit. His second hit tonight. And it's 2nd and 3rd for the Tigers.
They've kept the left fielder Chin-Soo Chu awfully busy here. That's a fastball at the bottom of the zone, ripped by Castellanos. The ball took 1 hop off the wall. Nice play in left field by Chu, getting that ball back in, which prevented Victor Martinez from scoring.
Tigers have 5 hits on the board now. Castellanos has 2 of them. Here is Austin Jackson, trying to build on a 1-0 lead. And Jackson lines one into left center field. That's a base hit. It'll score 1, maybe 2. Here comes Castellanos rounding third. He will score. Jackson gets it done with a 2-run single. And it's 3-0 Detroit.
Austin Jackson has been awesome in these situations this year. A runner on third base, less than 2 outs. He usually gets the job done. He got a hanging breaking ball from Martinez and ripped it over the head of the shortstop to plate 2. But I like the aggressiveness of Jackson running out of the batter's box. He was going to make Chu stop him at second base. At first base, he was thinking 2 out of the batter's box.
Jackson gets RBIs 21 and 22, and the Tigers extend their lead now to 3-0.
Ten out of 15 times Austin Jackson has been able to plate that runner from third base with less than 2 outs. 67%. The major league average is just barely over 50%.
So it's still only 1 out. Here is Alex Avila, who himself had a single back in the 2nd inning.
Well, you wonder if Austin's in a running mood here tonight. He tried to steal a couple of bases a couple of days ago against Chirinos. Chirinos threw him out once, and Jackson was successful once.
Chirinos, as we mentioned earlier, has thrown out 18 this year.
He's got a gun. Chirinos threw out Suarez attempting to steal early in last night's game, and he got the ball from his glove down to the shortstop's glove in 1.8 seconds, which is well above average.
It's kind of like Pudge Rodriguez territory.
No
there,
doubt. No doubt.
Ball outside to Avila. Tigers have been aggressive here tonight against Martinez. Of the 6 Tigers hits, 3 have been on the first pitch that they've seen. Avila with a 4-game hit streak now. He is 4 out of 5 in the series. Chirinos was ready to come up throwing there as Jackson took a step or 2 towards second. And AJ this year 8 out of 11 in stolen base chances.
When Austin was thrown out a couple of nights ago, he was attempting to steal third base for the 2nd time this year.
And Avila takes outside. Now the count goes to 3-0. The Rangers have lost a season-high 7 games. There's Baker warming up in their bullpen. 7 consecutive games, that is. And they walk Avila on ball 4. That's another base on balls for Martinez. His 4th in the game. That'll put 2 men on.
Well, we talked about Martinez at the top of the show. In 59 2/3 innings coming in, he had 28 strikeouts and 25 walks. So walks have been a problem for him this year.
And they continue to be an issue here tonight. Eugenio Suarez will stand in.
Usually after
Suarez 0 for 1.
Usually after that, pitching coach makes a visit out. Catcher also out there having a conversation with Martinez. As a hitter, about 9 out of 10 times you're going to get a first pitch fastball. If you don't get the fastball, you simply take the breaking ball. But here's where you really have to dial in for your fastball, especially with the wildness that he's had tonight.
Suarez flied out his first time to center field. He's got Jackson and Avila aboard here. Ball 1. All these walks in the slow pace of game defensively as well. It's got to be difficult for the Rangers defenders to stay on their toes.
That's a great point, because most of them are on their heels right now.
And a check swing. They will appeal. Did not go. So another count in which it's very favorable for the Tigers. 2-0. Been a common theme tonight for Nick Martinez, falling behind hitter after a hitter. And he missed way outside again. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, if he loses Suarez, it'll probably be the end of the night for Martinez. I know Ron Washington is tired of watching him.
Martinez has actually thrown more balls than strikes in this game. And he's been behind 12 of the 17 hitters he's faced. And he has thrown a strike there in the outside corner to Suarez, who probably thought he had himself a walk.
Borderline strike.
Another strike. Suarez discarding the bat. 3-2.
And probably too close to take. We'll see if Jackson and Avila are on the move on the 3-2 pitch with one out. I'm going to say yes.
Jackson had a 2-run single earlier in the inning. They have 2 men on here. Let's see if the Tigers start him. Runners holding, and it's line foul down the third base side. Three and 2 on Eugenio Suarez. The inning started with a walk. 1 out later, Castellanos doubled, and then Jackson played it 2. And there is ball 4. So Suarez thought he had to walk 3 separate times in that at bat. He finally gets the base on balls. That'll be the 5th of the game, and it's going to be the hook for the starter, Nick Martinez. Scott Baker will be summoned into the ball game. So Martinez just could not battle his control tonight or win that battle. 3 walks in this inning. And so the Rangers go to the bullpen. Wallside Windows pitching change coming up. 3-0 Detroit. Well, it's 3-0 in favor of Detroit, and Ian Kinsler will be stepping in against a new Texas pitcher. It's the former Minnesota Twins, Scott Baker.
Scott Baker was in spring training this year with the Seattle Mariners, but they released him on March 25th, and with all the pitching issues the Texas Rangers were having, they picked him up 3 days later. He is the long man in their bullpen. Usually when the starter doesn't go and give Ron Washington any length at all, it's Scott Baker that gets the call.
So Martinez lasted just 2 1/3. He threw 29 pitches in this inning before he departs. And now here is Kinsler with the bases loaded.
3 pitches for Baker. A lot of his fastballs are belt buckle or higher at about 90 miles an hour. He's got a nice big curveball and a changeup. Doesn't walk many people. He's usually around the plate, which bodes well for Ian Kinsler in this situation.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Kinsler. The end of the ball game with a pop up and a walk. Can really bust this one open early here. Tigers lead by 3. They've got him loaded up. Driven to left field. That ball is going to drop. Base hit. Jackson scores. Avila will stop at third. It's an RBI single for Ian Kinsler. 39th RBI of the year.
And Tigers have already had a couple of runners thrown out at home plate in this series. Therefore, Dave Clark, with Avila running from second base, elected to not send Avila. And Brad Ausmus is now on the field. I'm wondering if he's asking for some kind of an obstruction here. It looked like as Avila was getting close to third base, he had to kind of redirect his route to get around their third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, it's a good pickup right now, and Clark pleading his case with Beltre. Avila got a really good jump on that ball, and it looked like he was going to score easily.
Yeah, I think, not that Dave is not going to be aggressive the remainder of the season, but they've had a couple guys thrown out last couple of nights here at home plate.
Well, here is Torrey Hunter.
Ian Kinsler just continues to wear out his former team, and he loves hitting this ballpark. We gave you some numbers earlier on Ian.
Pounded foul down the third baseline. So Hunter, who walked with the bases loaded back in the second, stands in. It's 4-0 Detroit. Ground ball. What a stop at short by Andrews to second one, and the relay, a double play.
Ooh,
Elvis Andrews with a 6-4-3 and a sizzling play at short. Tigers get 2 more runs, but Andrews prevented at least 2 more.
By Ian Kinsler to left field, and it prompted Brad Ausmus to get out of his seat and come out onto the field to play. You see Avila running from second base. Beltre, the third baseman, was kind of in his way. Not really distracting him, but it kind of forced Dave Clark into holding him up, and Brad Ausmus simply came out to the field to have a conversation with Todd Tichenor, the third base umpire, to see if there was any kind of obstruction.
Well, it did look like Avila had to do a little bit of a stutter step, but I don't know that it really makes a difference. And so that's what the umpires, I guess, decided. So the Tigers now have given Rick Porcello a 4-0 advantage to work with. And Luis Sardinas looks at a ball outside. It'll be Sardinas, Martin, and then Andrews. Rick going for his 10th win of the season, has a nice little margin to work with here. Here's the 1-0.
With 11 wins and about a 3.50 ERA, could Porcello sneak on the All-Star team?
I was looking at his numbers today. Sardinas looks at a strike, and I'm looking at him right now, and he's got 9 wins. But the number that jumped out was that earned run average, because it's at 3.7 right now. If he throws together another couple of good starts and gets to 3.5, who knows?
Could make his first All-Star team.
Yeah. Bouncing ball, first base side. Porcello will cover. 1 out. Game break time. We go back to the studio, check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here's what it looks like in the Central. Tigers lead by 4 now over KC. Remember when it was a game and a half lead for the Royals?
Just 7 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally just a week ago, and that's how quickly it can change. The Tigers in search of their 7th consecutive victory in this ball game tonight.
Actually, it wasn't even a week ago. It was last Saturday.
Even better. There's a ball low to Leonis Martin. Martin grounded out his first time up. Ball 2 on Martin. 1 for 7 in this series versus Detroit. He has a double to his credit. And Martin looks at a strike. 2-1. Leonis defected from Cuba back in 2010. Had sort of a breakout season last year, his first full season in the major leagues. Checked it. High and away. 3-1. And he lost in ball 4. 1 out, base on balls. Hey, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Here's Elvis Andrus. Andrus lined one to right field, got a single out of it back in the first. It got away from Torrey Hunter. It went as a single E9, but they couldn't score him. And it's in there for strike 1 on Andrus. Back in 09, Elvis finished 2nd in the Rookie of the Year voting in the American League. Andrew Bailey, the closer at the time for the Oakland Athletics, won it.
Have not heard that name in quite some time. He's battled a lot of injuries lately.
I was thinking the same thing. Elvis is a 2-time All-Star.
Elvis originally came to the Texas Rangers in that blockbuster deal from the Atlanta Braves a few years back. Mark Teixeira went the other way. He only stayed in a Braves uniform for a half a year, but it kind of turned around the Texas entire organization.
They got a lot of pretty good parts in that deal.
They got Matt Harrison in that deal. They got Natali Feliz in that deal. They got Elvis Andrus in that deal.
2 of those guys battling injuries this year, but still key components. No balls, 1 strike.
They get Teagard in that deal as well, a catcher. I believe they did. He's no longer here, obviously, but I believe they got.
I'm not sure on Teagard.
Oh, was it Saltalamacchia?
It was Saltalamacchia. That's what it was, Saltalamacchia. 1 ball, 1 strike. Andrus has picked it up, 347 over his last 12 ball games.
Well, here's where Rick's at his best. He averages 2 ground balls for every fly ball since he's come to the big leagues in 2009.
Well, there's a ground ball. Is it hard enough for a double play? 4-6-3 it is.
I see you, Ricky P.
A twin killing ends the inning. No runs, they get a walk, and nobody left. 3 in the books here in Arlington. All Tigers so far. Last year in this ballpark, Miguel Cabrera 3 homers in a ball game, and he will start things off here now in the 4th inning.
That was a Sunday night game, and we did not do that broadcast, and I watched all 3 of those home runs from the stands. A very enjoyable evening here watching Miguel Cabrera hit those 3 home runs that night.
Well, Cabrera will swing at first and ground it foul. Miggy tonight a single and a fly ball. Highest among actives against Texas. Cabrera 371, which is well above anybody else.
He's big in Texas.
Yeah, he is big everywhere. Really.
Yeah, that's right.
No balls, 1 strike. And he lines one to left. That's a base hit. And Cabrera has his 2nd hit of the game.
His hand-eye coordination is just so good. I mean, he kicks the left leg up, he gets it down, but look at the firm front side right here. That's what they call a firm front side, and when your hips start to rotate, you have to have something to catch him. He's got those big legs, and that helps him pull his hands through the baseball.
It's a good shot of his eyes as well. Just the concentration of Cabrera.
He's just special.
Here's Victor Martinez. Martinez single and a walk. He's also scored a run. And Victor looks at ball 1. Scott Baker had to take over for Nick Martinez in the 3rd. Baker got a double play ball after giving up an RBI single to Kinsler. He was a Minnesota Twin from 2007 to 2011. And he missed outside.
If he spent that much time in a Twinkies uniform, that means he and Victor, they've got quite a bit of history against one another.
41 at bats. Good numbers, 293. 1 year in Minnesota, Baker won 15 ball games.
That elevated fastball about 93, 94. Good curveball, real good control. Didn't walk many people. He's had some arm injuries. That fastball not getting up to 95 as it did when he was playing for Minnesota. Played his collegiate ball at Oklahoma State. Cowboy.
The 3-0 is swung on and grounded foul. Victor Green lighting it there on 3-0.
Usually doesn't swing 3 balls and no strikes, but that's how good he's feeling these days.
Martinez 5 home runs shy of equaling his career high for a single season back with Cleveland. In 2007, he hit 25 homers. Here's the 3-1. Rip foul.
Oh, man. Victor, please.
You gotta watch out in the stands as well.
Don't hurt anybody.
Everybody all right?
Not really.
Blow up the nachos? Look at that guy.
That one went in there to eat. He shook up.
And I would be too. That thing came sizzling in.
He tried to catch it, obviously.
Runner goes, and it's driven foul.
She's upset with him that he didn't catch it.
That thing had to be coming in about 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, the things we being asked to put up there.
And she's upset that he didn't catch it. She's lucky he didn't catch it with his face. Meanwhile, 3-2 on Victor Martinez. Line drive off the glove of the first baseman Pena. They would have had a double play there because Cabrera was on the run. He's going to get to third base. Another hard hit ball for Victor Martinez.
And Carlos Pena is a really good defender down at first base, but he could do nothing but slow this line drive down off the bat of Victor Martinez. And once it got off the glove and trickled into right field, Miguel able to get to third base, no problem. It's fascinating. It's amazing how hard Victor Martinez is hitting the ball these days.
And it seems like every single at bat he's doing so. So give him 2 singles and a walk in this one. Now J.D. Martinez, who has flied out twice in this game, the only Tiger that has not at least reached base. See if he can change that.
He's been getting some breaking balls here last couple days. They stopped throwing J.D. Martinez fastballs.
Wonder why it took so long.
That's right.
315 with 9 home runs. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball. Center field. Martin going back. Going to be deep enough to score the run. JD will get an RBI as Cabrera walks home. Set fly for Martinez, his 32nd RBI of the year.
And JD starting to understand how they're trying to pitch him now with lots of breaking balls. He stayed about as long as he could here and got enough of it to loft it deep enough into the outfield in that slow breaking ball thrown by Scott Baker.
5-0 Tigers. It's going to bring up Castellanos. He had a big night. Single and a double for Nick. Average up to 269 as he cuts and misses 0-1. Nick now with 7 hits on this road trip for the Tigers, which began in Cleveland with a sweep there, and now Detroit trying to sweep the Rangers. They've got the Astros coming up next on the road trip. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson will be next. Baker originally a 2nd-round pick of the Minnesota Twins, on the disabled list quite a bit with Minnesota. That one missed. Well, the 2-1 coming home to Castellanos. Grounded foul down the third base line. 3 times Baker won 10 or more, actually 11 or more with the Minnesota Twins. He mentioned a 15-game winner back in 2009. So he was fairly consistent in the rotation, although his ERA with the victories was over 4. And he missed that one low and in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Shreveport, Louisiana, the hometown of Scott Baker. 32 years old now. Tigers have 9 hits in this game. 8 of them are singles. Castellanos has the only extra base hit, a double. Runner going in the air, right field, shallow. And Rios will make the catch. 2 gone. Well, the Tigers host the Tampa Bay Rays on July 4th at 7:08. First 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a free Tiger Stars and Stripes tumbler. Plus, stay after the game for fireworks. They're always spectacular. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Tampa Bay going through it this year, 12 games back in the American League East, and they're probably going to have to trade David Price before the All-Star break.
Yeah, there are some that are saying that it's very unlikely that he's still there in the second half. There's a ball high. Now he will bring you some pieces in return, no doubt about that.
They could make one of those type deals that the Texas Rangers made years back when they got healthy, when they traded Mark Teixeira to the Atlanta Braves. We talked about those guys Texas got in return.
Austin Jackson batting with 2 outs, and he looks at a strike on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 on Jackson. Big 2-run single back in the third. Tigers got 3 runs in that third inning. They've added 1 more here in the fourth. They lead 5-0 in this ball game. Two and 1. Tigers also have another streak going. They have homered in 9 consecutive games. They got back-to-back home runs last night from Victor and J.D. Martinez. And Jackson fouls it back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should Jackson reach, Avila's next. Tigers have out hit the Rangers tonight 9-1. Another ball hit back out of play. What is that? Is that burger?
It's big, whatever it is.
That could be the largest burger I've ever seen in my entire life. Apparently that is a Beltray burger.
I got to put a few extra around the belt buckle too.
And a ball low and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Did you put away one of those?
Maybe half.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
You good for the other half?
I'm good for the other half. I don't know if I can put away the whole thing. Might miss another game if I tried. 3-2. And the runner going on 3-2. Foul back out of play. Jackson putting together a good at bat here. Tigers got a couple of singles to start the inning. Sac fly by J.D. Martinez. Extend the lead to 5-0.
Well, need 2 hands to pick it up
for just 1 half. Forget about it. Forget it.
That's all bad.
Oh my goodness. thing is $26. There's a bouncing ball to short. And Andrews will throw him out. Well, we'll check back in to see how she's doing. Maybe in the 9th inning or so. Good luck. Park in Arlington, Texas. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, and Trevor Thompson has popped into the booth. And Trev, first of all, thank you very much for filling in last night. I know it was not easy. I hate putting people in that kind of position, but boy, you stepped up big time, man.
Thank you for making the return tonight. You said you were going to take a bite of that burger and it might knock you out for another game. I would not let you bite that burger, not if I'm on duty, I'll tell you that. Such just the amount of respect I have for the job you guys do, and anybody out there who thinks you can just roll into a big league ballpark, find out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon you're going to call that game and have zero prep and sound like Ernie Harwell, you got another thing coming. It's just not going to happen. How much prep time do each of you guys put into a game? Because I know you guys are well prepared by the time game time hits.
Yeah, I don't know if prep ever really ends. I mean, it's always like once this game is done, I think Rod and I just start prepping for the next game. It's just something you get used to, a rhythm you get used to. But that's what made what you did last night very difficult, because it's one thing to tell you, hey, Trev, you got the game next Tuesday. Get ready for it. You showed up at the ballpark at what, 3, and all of a sudden you're in the booth.
I found out about 3 o'clock that I was definitely going to do it, and the thing that helped me through last night was I knew that I had 2 solid crutches to my right and my left in the form of Craig Monroe and Rod Allen, who you know does a marvelous job each and every night alongside you, Mario. So that certainly helped last night.
For me, I start prepping sometimes a couple days before. Actually, I was watching some Houston Astros game today, prepping for the series that's going to come up. So as Mario said, you just never stop prepping. As soon as this game's over, you got to start looking ahead. Obviously, covering the Tigers, we know everything about the Tigers, but you want to sound intelligent when you cover another squad too. But Trevor, you were outstanding last night. It was different flavor. We missed Mario, no doubt, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun last night. Mario, I took your advice when we talked pregame about not trying to get ahead of the game. Just watch what happens, follow the play, and just stay calm and steady. That's what I tried to do last night. Not try to do too much and just stay out of the way and not hurt myself.
Well, by all accounts, you did all of that and then some. So we thank you, Trev. And I know it could not have been easy, but back to your normal duties tonight, so you have to feel a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't easy last night, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a dream come true to call a major league game so I can tell my grandkids, yeah, I did that once.
There you go.
Home run call was pretty good.
Beltre lines one of the shortstop for the second out of the inning, 2 gone.
I mean, for never having done it before.
Yeah, it wasn't an Impemba quality home run call, but it was fun nonetheless.
Well, what was more difficult, filling in last night or going into a Tigers locker room after a loss?
Well, after the losing that they had seen lately when they were in that funk, that was not easy at all. Not easy at all, but we got the win last night, so that certainly helped. I know the viewers appreciated that. Man, they might have never let me back in the building if they'd lost that game on my watch last night.
Here's Alex Rios now with 2 outs. Tigers up 5-0, chatting with Trevor Thompson, who did an admirable job and beyond in filling in last night. And I will try my best, Trev, not to ever put you in that position again.
I'll tell you another thing I have a great appreciation for, Mario and Rod, is fact that, as Porcello gets said here, is how you have to stay focused throughout the entire game. In my role, I could stroll off between innings, grab myself a hot dog, wander around the ballpark,
or one of those $28 burgers.
Just something like that. You know, surf the internet, but you've got to stay focused all night long, and that ball game gets long. You've got to maintain focus. That's not easy. So kudos to you guys for what you do each and every night throughout a very long baseball season. It is not easy, but you guys make it look easy on a nightly basis. And it's probably about as difficult as downing that entire burger by yourself if you want a comparison.
She's making that look easy, that's for sure. She's got about half of it down. Pretty good. 0-2 the count. And Rios. And a ball inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Trev, you may as well go down there and get the other half of that burger. She's not going to be able to finish it.
Rios hitting with 2 outs here. Nobody aboard. Tigers have been in command in this one, and Rick Porcello doing his thing as well. Rios struck out back in the first inning. And he sends this one in the air to center field. Routine play there for Jackson. 10-pitch inning for Porcello. Trev, thanks very much again for filling in last night, buddy.
Thank you, Mario. Glad to have you back, buddy.
Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Back here in Texas, Globe Life Park in Arlington, 5-0 in favor of Detroit. They're going for the sweep of the Texas Rangers. And Tigers fans here in Arlington having some fun in this 3-game series. Ball club playing a whole lot better, and they're in search of their 7th consecutive win. Here's Alex Avila to start things off now for the Tigers. It'll be Avila, Suarez, and Kinsler as we go to the 5th inning.
And the Kansas City Royals, they're idle tonight, so the Tigers with a win, they could push their lead in first place in the Central to 4.5 games.
Royals came into Comerica Park, took 3 out of 4 from Detroit, and all of a sudden they had a 1.5 lead. Although the Tigers shaved that to a half game by winning the final game in that series, and Detroit has not lost since.
Yeah, Kansas City went home and got swept by the Seattle Mariners, and then they just lost 2 of 3 to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's Baker's 0-1. Avila on base 2 more times than this one. Single and a walk. He is now 4 for 5 in the series. Ball inside. They couldn't play the shift on Avila last time because the Tigers had men on base, but they do so here in this at bat.
We've seen Avila And quite often this year simply beat the shift by hitting something down the third baseline.
Tipped it into the glove, and that'll be strike 3. So Baker has his first strikeout of the game. It's going to bring up Eugenio Suarez. Suarez fly ball and a walk. Well, the Tigers brought Suarez up at the beginning of this month here in June, and it gave them an opportunity, and continues to do so, a chance for the ball club to look at what they have on the young infielder. We'll drive this one in the air to center field. Going to be playable, though, as Leonis Martinez under. And there are 2 gone. So Suarez now 0 for 2 with the walks. We'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Single walk and a pop up for Kinsler, plus an RBI.
Sounds like some of the folks here in attendance, they don't know whether to cheer him or boo him.
It really has been kind of 50-50. I mean, it's difficult to discern whether or not he's getting more of the boos or the cheers. Kinsler looks at a strike, 0-1.
He is not getting nearly the treatment that Josh Hamilton got when Josh Hamilton finally came back for his first game here after leaving as a free agent.
But didn't Hamilton make some comments about the fans?
He sure did.
Poles hit hard right to the shortstop on a backhand there. Elvis Andrus has it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning.
By pitch, Rick Porcello on top of his game once again here tonight. He's already thrown 6 ground ball outs. One of those turned into a double play. And when he hasn't been getting the ground ball, he's getting some strikeouts and a change up on a fastball. He's got some real nice depth on his 2-seamer here tonight as well.
Well, so far just 1 hit allowed by Porcello. No runs in his last 10 innings worth. And Rick goes back to work. It'll be Carlos Pena to lead it off. It'll be Pena, Chirinos, and Choice facing the Tigers right-hander. And he looked at a ball outside.
And Tigers employ the shift on Carlos Pena. He's a dead pull hitter. He has been a dead pull hitter since coming to the big leagues. He's hit quite a few home runs, and he also strikes out a lot.
That's why you see the shift down there for Detroit. Of course, Tigers fans know Carlos Pena very well. From 02 to 05 was a member of the Tigers. He was originally a first-round pick of these Rangers. And Porcello missed it outside. So now he's gone 3-0. Pena struck out back in the second. 2 for 10 in the series, a home run, his only hit. Called up on Tuesday from their AAA team. And he looks at a strike, 3-1. Porcello ready with the 3-1 pitch. And he lost him. Ball 4. Pena gets a leadoff walk. We're talking about Rick and all the games that he has won. And Porcello, with his 70th win in his last start, look at this list of guys that have 70 wins, at least 70 wins before turning 26.
Yeah, King Felix with 86, Clayton Kershaw 77, and also CC Sabathia with 76 wins. Those 3 guys have won Cy Youngs. Kershaw's done it twice.
Now Porcello will face Robinson Chirinos. Strike 1 on Chirinos. 235 batting average for the Texas backstop. Snapped an 0 for 13 slump with a couple of knocks in last night's game. And Porcello delivers another strike. 0-2. Rick had an easy 4th inning, a 1-2-3 4th inning. He's already had 1 double play turn behind him. He got that off the bat of Elvis Andrus.
She's still working on that sandwich.
Is that what's left?
Yeah, she did pretty good.
Now, what may be more impressive is that dish of nachos that that guy next to her is eating.
He's having no problem with those.
Oh, he's going strong.
Yeah, no problem. Licking his fingers and everything.
That's a whole lot of food right there.
Making me hungry.
Here's Michael Choice. Four strikeouts now for Porcello. And Choice looks at a ball inside, 1-0.
And Choice getting an opportunity to cut his teeth this year in the major leagues with the Texas Rangers. And you see the batting average at 185. He probably should be in the minor leagues, but they've had so many injuries. They have several offensive players that are cutting their teeth at the big league level.
Grounded right back past Porcello. Kinsler has it to second one, and that's a double play.
Second twin killing of the evening thrown by Ricky P.
Both of them 4-6-3 coming up for the Tigers. Hunter, Cabrera, Martinez. Stay tuned.
summary, Tigers got a gift run in the second inning with the bases loaded. Nick Martinez walked 5 in the game. That was one of the walks. Jackson does a very nice job with the runner on third base. Less than 2 outs, drives in a couple of runs. And J.D. Martinez also gets into the act. And Ian Kinsler just continues to wear out his former team.
J.D. got into the act as well. He's trying to keep that hitting streak going, but his sac fly drove in a run. And so the Tigers enjoying a 5-0 spread here as we go to the top of the 6th. And Hunter fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Cabrera, then Martinez, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters facing Scott Baker, who did not start this game but came in long relief when Nick Martinez was bounced out of the game back in the 3rd. Ball up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. 5 runs, 9 hits for Detroit. The Rangers so far have just 1 hit. We'll get back out of play. And again, Rod, I guess it goes back to what we've talked about. It all starts with the starting pitch.
No doubt. So when you have guys that, when they get their turn to go out there, as they have done the last 7 days, and Smiley, Verlander, Scherzer, Sandoval, Sanchez last night, today Porcello, you're going to win a lot of games.
The only hit given up by Porcello was single to Elvis Andrus. Here's a fly ball hit to deep right. Rio center it right in front of the track, 1 gone.
Well, here's what the starting pitchers have been able to do in the last 7 games. The opponent's batting average at the bottom at 274. They're not walking many people at all. I mean, you talk about 7 base on balls, a 5-1 record. I mean, that's outstanding.
And the opponents are batting a lowly 234 versus the Tigers starters. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Ball 1 outside to Miggy.
That's why a lot of managers, when you ask them about momentum when their team is going well, they say momentum is only as good as your next day's starter.
And that has certainly been the case with the Tigers. They've pretty much passed the baton start after start in this stretch. Look out. He rips one right back up the box and into center field.
That's Miggy's 3rd hit of the day.
And this one almost took Baker with him.
Oh my goodness, he got small in a hurry. That nipped him.
It did?
Yeah, it did nip him.
That'll make it an even 10 hits now for the Tigers. 1 on, 1 out. And Baker says, I'm all right. And caught him on the back, low back. So again, mostly singles tonight for the Tigers, but they've made good use of them. Their only extra base hit, a double by Castellanos. Now Martinez on base 3 more times tonight. Victor, 2 singles and a walk. Baker delivers a strike, 0-1. So Martinez now has 6 hits in this series. And that's in 11 at bats. Well, what do we have here? What in the world is that? Those are fries. Are those the same people?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, how much can they eat? There's the ball low.
I guess they're not kidding when they say everything is big in Texas.
Okay, so they had waffle fries there with pulled pork on it. The 6,000-pound burger and the nachos that wouldn't end. You got to come to the ballpark with your appetite.
They also sell something called poutine nachos here or something.
You ever tried those?
I can barely pronounce it, dude. I'm not eating nothing I can't pronounce.
There's a ground ball fielded at first by Pena. This might be a double play. And it is. Well, the twin killing will end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. We'll keep our eyes on the food as well. Tonight in Arlington, it's off to Houston next. The Tigers taking on the Astros Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all games can be seen right here on Fox Sports Detroit beginning on Friday night. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. The Tigers taking on the Astros. And how about Jose Altuve this year?
They got to find some way to slow him down. He didn't really have a good series when the Houston Astros were at Comerica Park, but this guy leads the league with 105 hits, batting average, multi-hit game steals, and he's tied for third in doubles. I mean, what a year.
He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, Jose Altuve. And we'll check him out beginning Friday night, tomorrow evening in Houston. Rick Porcello back to work now. Facing the number 9 hitter, Luis Sardinas. Rick's had a couple of double plays turned behind him tonight. Sardinas 0 for 1 with a ground out. One ball, one strike. 5-0 in favor of the Tigers. And a 3-run third in this game. Here's the 1-1. The hook stays high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sardinas is the second youngest player in the majors this year, behind his teammate Rougned Odor. They're both 20 years old. He's a swing and a tip into the glove. 2-2. So again, the injuries have forced the youth to get a chance here in Texas. Here are the youngest players on the active rosters.
And Nick Castellanos also showing up on that list.
Here's the 2-2. He slapped foul down the left field line. Nice catch. Sardinas waiting on a 2-2 offering. Bouncer back up the middle. It finds a hole. Base hit. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Check in with Mickey York. You sound a little bit bitter back there in the studio. These have been some long games at Texas. It's been about 3.5 hours for the first two. So tonight's a snappy pace. Here's the ball inside to Leonis Martin. Ground out and a walk for Martin. Of course, snappy pace here in Texas means 3 hours. Martin batting .269. And that one misses. 2 balls and no strikes. That base hit by the number 9 hitter Sardinas, just the second hit given up in this ball game by Porcello. Both of them singles. And again, he is gunning for his 10th victory of the season. Strike call. Rick's been double digits in the win column every year in the big leagues. He is certain to get there again this year. Now Rick ready with the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Martin has a double in this series. In fact, he has 4 doubles in his last 5 games. They play him off the line. Castellanos gives him the third base side. Here's the 2-2. Way high. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Rick overthrew that curveball there, and it stayed up. And his release point was way too high, and it didn't release it out in front. And watch where he releases this breaking ball from.
Runner goes, and it's lined to left field. It's sinking, base hit. Well, back-to-back singles here for the Rangers in the 6th inning. And they've got something going now.
It's a nice at-bat by Martin, slicing that ball the opposite way on the 3-2 fastball.
Jeff Jones coming out of the dugout now to have a chat with Porcello. Really the first trouble that Rick has had tonight. He did have a couple of runners down in the 1st inning, but struck out Alex Rios.
He's got that equalizer, and when he does back himself into jams, he can simply throw a ground ball and get a double play. He's already done that twice today, and Elvis Andrus, who has real good speed, he has hit into a double play this evening.
That was in his last at bat, and Porcello could certainly use one here. Rangers have bounced into 75 double plays this season. That's the most in the major league.
Whoa.
And he takes one right at the knees for a strike.
For a team that steals as many bases as the Texas Rangers do, as Blaine Hardy gets up in the Tigers bullpen, you wouldn't think they would hit into this many double plays. They've got a lot of speed.
Yeah, they got Martin, who's stolen a lot of bases.
Andrus.
Andrus waiting on the 0-1. There's a ground ball to second. Kinsler, Suarez, and another double play. Third turn behind Porcello tonight. That one again of the 4-6-3 variety.
Look at how quickly Kinsler gets the ball to Suarez. It allows Suarez to clear his body out of the speed of Martin, who was running from first base. He's able to get out of the baseline, and that clears the way for him to throw the ball over to Miguel Cabrera to complete the twin killing.
So with Andrews and his speed, he's bounced into 2 double plays tonight. And now Shin-Soo Choo with a man at third. We'll take ball 1.
Elvis Andrews just having a miserable season anyway with runners in scoring position. His batting average is under 200. Chu said he's probably putting a little bit too much pressure on himself. He got that huge contract. He's playing injured. He's trying to catch up now. His batting average at 245.
Well, with all the guys they have out of their lineup, and especially Prince Fielder, I mean, you're looking at Chu and Beltre as really the only 2 guys in this lineup that have really good long track records in the American League, or in baseball, I should say.
Right.
And so there comes that added layer of pressure and the contract, as you mentioned. Porcello ready with the 1-1. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, 1-2.
Yeah, this pitch right here is the one reason why the numbers against Porcello against left-handers has gone down. Coming into play today, left-handers hitting only .254 against Porcello.
Now Rick ready with a 1-2. That one sinks low. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Shin-Soo Choo.
He can go a couple different ways now. He can go back to the bottom of the zone with another good 2-seamer, or he can simply go up around the letters with a 4-seam fastball to see if he can get him to swing at that pitch. Well, front door sinker here.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Choo is out of there, and a rally, but nothing happens for the Rangers. Another 4-6-3 double play for the Tigers. They turned 3 double plays tonight. Lead 5-0 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Tigers have turned 3 double plays behind Rick and are out to the lead here tonight. Don't forget to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1984 championship season on June 30th. The Tigers battle the A's at 7:08. First 20,000 fans receive an '84 Tigers replica road jersey. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. So for Detroit here in the 7th inning, J.D. Martinez leads it off. He's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Sends a ground ball left side, fielded there by Beltre. One pitch. Oh, he threw it off the bag.
You don't see Beltre do this very often.
Ever. That'll be an E5. Routine ground ball. So the Tigers get the leadoff man on. Each ball club now with an error. Here's Castellanos. Baker needed just 7 pitches in the 5th and 9 pitches in the 6th inning.
And Castellanos has swung at the first pitch in all 3 of his previous plate appearances.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Single double fly ball tonight for Castellanos. He wanted low and in and missed high and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ten Tigers hits tonight, only 3 for the Texas Rangers. Now the 1-1. Another breaking ball grounded toward third, foul ball. That was the 7th error of the year for Beltre. He had a clean path to first base on that ball, routine grounder, but just hooked it off the bag. 1-2 on Castellanos. A little bit of room to right center for Nick. And the 1-2 up and in. Rangers came in 7 under the 500 mark. Should they lose tonight, they'll be 8 under for the first time since 2008. That's how much success they've had here. They're not used to stretches like this. And right now the Tigers leading 5-0. Swing and a miss. Castellanos goes right through it and strikes out. 1 on, 1 out. We'll bring up Austin Jackson. Jackson will stand in. He has a 2-run single that happened back in the 3rd. And as you look at the box score, you see Cabrera's got 3 hits, a couple for Castellanos. Austin looks at a breaking ball away. Seeing some good signs out of Jackson now. Had a couple of hits the other way in game 1. Drove in a couple of runs here in game 3. The 1-0 pitch. The hook that stayed high, but it's in for a strike. I've always thought, Rod, that Jackson, regardless of where he's batting in the lineup, can be a catalyst. He is that type of player, even if he's batting 5th, 6th, 7th.
I think he got caught in the month of May after having a really good start to the season, starting to think that he needed to hit for more power. And I think that's why his numbers kind of struggle. But he's back now to taking what's given to him, and he's hit a lot of balls to right field.
1-2. Vila will be next. Baker had to come on in the 3rd inning in this one after Martinez was bounced out of the game, and he's done a pretty good job of quieting things down for the Rangers. 1-2 stays up.
And Baker is pitching the same way that he pitched when he was winning games for the Minnesota Twins. Fastballs elevated at the top of the strike zone with good arm action. And the ball gets on you a little quicker than you anticipate. And he's very difficult to barrel up when he has that fastball up in the zone.
And Jackson would not chase that one. The count fills now 3-2. Baker's gone 4 innings so far, scattering 4 hits, has struck out 2.
And Tigers with a healthy lead now, 5-0 here in the 7th inning with 1 out. And no issue here if you're Brad Ausmus and you want to start the runner from first.
Runner holds, and it's in the air to center. Chasing Martin back. He'll make the play. 4 out number 2. Hey, as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. That Tigers fan looking for some quality shots tonight.
With that lens, he will get some quality shots.
Got a front row seat too, it appears. Two down now. Here's Alex Avila. Grounded foul the other way, 0-1. Avila, another hit tonight, a single and a walk for the Tigers catcher. A Detroit win here tonight, and the Tigers would go to 43-32. And as we mentioned earlier, the Royals are idle tonight, so they gain a half game with a win here.
And Tigers also with the best winning percentage away from home.
Bouncing ball to first base. Pena handles it. And the side retired. No runs in air. 1 man left. Time to stretch on a beautiful night here in Arlington, Texas. All Tigers 5-0.
Thrown 3 ground balls already here tonight. All of them 4-6-3 variety. He's also thrown a grand total of 10 ground balls. So Rick Porcello is really doing tonight what he's basically done all season long.
Well, in his last 2, including tonight's start, Rick Porcello, 12 innings, no runs, 8 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Just continuing to be Rick Porcello, the one that we've enjoyed watching pitch this season, and he is zeroing in on his 10th win.
Only 2 other pitchers have more victories than Porcello in the American League. Tanaka of the New York Yankees and Burley of the Toronto Blue Jays. Burley's been stuck on 10 for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, he's got 4 losses now. What do you make about Tanaka, man? He's been as advertised.
No question. He's got a good fastball. He can spot it all over, but that split-fingered fastball he brought from Japan with him is lethal.
Beltre hammers this one in the air to right center field. Jackson going back, still on the move to the warning track.
He gets such great breaks. His first step is awfully quick, and he also takes a really nice route, and that allows him to not only get to this ball, which looked like it was going to be trouble, but he got there, had to slow down. He was able to turn his body around to make the catch. And very few center fielders cover the ground that Jackson does in center. And as many ground balls as Porcello throws, you're not really expecting the ball to be hit to you in the outfield.
Not at all. Nor are you expecting to see Beltre hitless in a game against the Tigers. Just doesn't happen very often. Strike one on Alex Rios. Breaking ball fouled off. 0-2 now on Rios.
With Porcello's pitch count still in pretty good shape. And the next pitch he will throw tonight will be number 90.
Yeah, and the reason why, he's had 4 innings tonight of 12 or fewer pitches.
Very economical.
Ready with the 0-2. Sliced and caught by Miguel Cabrera. 2 up, 2 down.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it's brought to you by Xfinity. And 93, the fastest fastball thrown by Porcello today, and that curveball at 75.
So here is Carlos Pena with 2 away. Strikeout and a walk for Pena. That is hammered down the right field line, but foul. Pena had some good years for the Tigers. Hit 27 home runs back in the 05 campaign. Knocked in 82 that year. But his biggest years came in a Tampa uniform. 46 homers in that 2007 season with the Rays. In fact, he knocked in over 100 3 separate times with them. On the outside corner for a strike. Pena disagreed. 0-2. That one sinks outside. Pena said when he was let go by the Angels in spring training, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it sent him back home just days before the birth of his child. And so he was able to spend some time with his family. And he was telling Trevor Thompson before the game today that he stayed in shape, hoping for another opportunity, and here is that opportunity with the Rangers. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Porcello cruising along now. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Tigers in control tonight. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. By Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in Arlington, the Tigers over the Rangers by a score of 5-0 as we go to the 8th inning. Only 3 Texas hits tonight against Rick Porcello. And coming up next, the Houston Astros beginning tomorrow night. Here are the pitching matchups for that series.
It'll be Peacock, Keuchel, and Feldman for the Houston Astros. Dallas Keuchel at 8-5 with a 2.78 ERA, having a really good year. And of course, Verlander, he's already left the ball club. He's in Houston. And Max Scherzer and Smiley will complete the series.
Beginning tomorrow night right here on Fox Sports Detroit. You can see all the action. Meanwhile, Scott Baker is still out there. He will pitch here in the 8th and face Eugenio Suarez to lead it off.
He's done a nice job at slowing the Tigers down after Nick Martinez only lasted 3 1/3 here this evening for the Texas Rangers.
And so Baker goes back to work, and his first pitch to Suarez is a strike. Eugenio in this ball game, couple of fly balls to center and base on balls. That is bounced toward third base. High hop for Beltre. This time his throw is right on the money. 1 out. Fans, don't forget to see the Tigers play the Oakland A's June 30th through July the 2nd and get the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for the discounted price. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Now Ian Kinsler. Single to drive in a run back in the 3rd inning. Ian looks at a breaking ball strike, 0-1. Kinsler also has a walk. He lined out sharply at the shortstop Andrews in his last at bat. Another breaking ball. This time Kinsler goes fishing for it. 0-2.
A little slower breaking ball thrown by Baker, and with a bigger break to it than the first pitch he threw him.
That time it was in the dirt, too far out of the strike zone for Kinsler to offer. 1-2 the count on Ian. Torrey Hunter will be next.
Ian Kinsler is going to have to make sure he doesn't chase the fastball up in the strike zone. And that is the pitch that Baker likes to get his strikeouts with.
He wouldn't. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Baker now in this relief effort has thrown 65 pitches out of their bullpen. Slice to center field. Another knock for Ian Kinsler. 2nd hit tonight. 6th hit in the series.
First 3 pitches were breaking balls, and then he threw a fastball up, which Ian laid off, which forced Baker into throwing another fastball that was right down the middle. And as good as Kinsler's going right now, he's not going to miss that pitch.
We'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey looks at a strike on the outer edge.
We brought this up earlier. I know some of you possibly did not see it, but he loves hitting at this ballpark. It's called a Globe-like park, but what it used to be called, Rangers Park?
Rangers Park. Oh, there have been a ton of names here.
Yeah, that's when he was doing most of his damage here, but he, for whatever reason, doesn't do that well in other ballparks. I guess you call that home field advantage.
Absolutely. 0 for 3 for Torrey. A couple of RBIs in this series. Returning to the Tigers lineup after missing 7 games with a sore hamstring. Drives this one on the line to right field. Going to be caught there by Alex Rios.
Torrey didn't have to miss 7 games, but everybody else was hot. Davis was hot. Jackson was hot. We know J.D. Martinez is living on a different planet right now, but Torrey Hunter simply went to his manager and said, I know these guys are hot. It'll take another couple of days to get that hamstring ready to go.
So here's Cabrera with 2 outs. Miguel in the ball game, 3 more hits, all singles. Average up to 323 now. The Tigers have out hit him 11-3 tonight. Driven left center field. Ball is hit well. Raui can't run it down. Looked like it hit his glove and falls in. This will get another run in. Cabrera goes to second. Kinsler comes around to score, and it's 6-0. Shin-Soo Choo is not having a night to remember out in left.
No, he's not, and you kind of feel bad for him because he's a really good baseball player. Here's something right around the belt buckle. Look at the concentration by Miggy. Head directly down on the baseball. We already talked about the firm front side. If this ball doesn't leave the ballpark to left center field, the ball just doesn't travel in that area. That ball right off Choo's glove.
Well, they're calling it a double and an RBI.
They should. He had to run a long way for that.
Catchable ball, though, don't you think?
Oh, he should. Once he got there, he should have caught it, but it's difficult to give a guy an error on that particular play.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Martinez not going to bat with first base open. So the Tigers get a 4-hit effort tonight from Miguel Cabrera. They're going to take the bat out of Martinez's hands. 6-0 Detroit. And there is ball 3 outside. Victor's like, man, this is an RBI opportunity here. Just let me swing. Here's ball 4.
That's exactly what he's thinking.
Hey, by the way, Saturday it's a full day of Major League Baseball action, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Twins on Fox Sports 1. Then it's Baseball Night in America as the Red Sox battle Derek Jeter and the Yankees. Our Major League doubleheader begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and then continues at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
That is now the 13th intentional free pass that Victor Martinez has been given this year. Only David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox has more. He has 15 free passes.
So J.D. Martinez up there now. J.D. reaching on an error in his last at bat. He is hitless tonight. And again, trying to extend that hitting streak. It's at 14 straight. Way up, and it looked like Chirinos was crossed up.
Yeah, looking for a breaking ball and got a fastball from Baker.
Hence the conversation.
Well, last couple of at-bats, J.D. Martinez has gotten a steady diet of breaking balls from Scott Baker.
Tigers had 15 extra base hits in the first 2 games of the series. They have just 2 tonight, but it doesn't matter. They lead 6-0. J.D. waiting on a 1-0. Rolled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez did pick up an RBI back in the 3rd on a sacrifice fly. He's knocked in 32 now this year. Here's the 1-1. Got a breaking ball and he fouled it back out of play. 1-2.
It was a good pitch to hit too. At 82 miles an hour, it wasn't really doing a whole lot. Hanging in the strike zone. J.D., however, cannot be looking for a breaking ball here.
Bouncing ball to short. Andrews to his left. Flips to second for the force. That'll be it for the Tigers. They get another run on the RBI double by Miggy. Sam called to the game.
Well, here's where Rick's at his best. He averages 2 ground balls for every fly ball since he's come to the big leagues in 2009.
Yep, there's a ground ball. Is it hard enough for a double play? 4-6-3 it is.
I see you, Ricky P.
A twin killing ends the inning. A double play ball off the bat of Elvis Andrus. The Tigers have turned 3 of them tonight behind Porcello.
Rick has thrown 10 ground ball outs in the contest as well.
Here's Robinson Chirinos to lead it off. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Chirinos, Choice, Sardinas, bottom of the order facing Porcello. The ground ball short. Suarez gobbles it up. 1 out. Rick now has retired 6 in a row. 7 1/3 tonight, and in that span 11 ground ball outs.
The only other outing this year where Porcello pitched 8 innings, you got to go all the way back to May 17th, an outing against the Boston Red Sox. He pitched 8 innings that night.
Choice looks at a strike at the knees.
Rick is now 13 of 26 in first pitch strikes, and he is usually much better than that. But even though he has fallen behind a lot of the hitters here tonight, Texas really hasn't hit that many balls hard against Porcello.
No, in fact, they have only 3 hits. Andrus is single, Sardinas is single, and Martin is single. Over the top of that pitch, and the count now is 1-2. Well, Porcello has been a guy, Rod, in his first couple of years in the big leagues that pretty much would go 6-7 innings. Once he got to 100 pitches, it was time to shut it down. He's about to throw his 100th in this game, but he also appears to be a guy that can go deeper into games now, or at least wants to.
Well, he appears to have the stamina now for that. His season high in pitches thrown this year is 110. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if he's able to get the next 2 hitters out efficiently. Brad Ausmus will have a decision to make whether he allows him to go out there and finish it off.
Look at that, a lot of pitches in the low teens. Right back to the mound. Porcello handles this one. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th.
And Porcello, because he doesn't exert a whole lot of energy in his delivery, he gets himself in a pretty good position to field the ball when it comes back at him. Had a difficult time with the exchange there, but with choice running, still able to get it over to Miguel to get the out.
Number 9 hitter now, Luis Sardinas. One of the 3 Texas hits, single in the 6th. And it's in there for strike 1. Breaking ball stayed high. 1 ball, 1 strike on the number 9 hitter, Sardinas. Blaine Hardy, the left-hander, is again warming in the Detroit bullpen, which tonight has been able to just kind of chill out. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, that's in there for a strike. Sardinas didn't like it.
Yeah, Brad had to dip into that bullpen quite a bit last night. Anibal Sanchez only lasted 5 1/3 last night.
Toward the right side of the infield for Kinsler, and Rick Porcello just cruising along tonight, folks. He's retired 8 straight. He has been on it tonight. Indeed, trying to complete the sweep. Rick Porcello's looked really good tonight.
Well, he walked off the mound. He did not get a handshake from Brad Ausmus. As a matter of fact, he wants to stay as far away from Brad Ausmus as he can right now. But he goes over, he sits on the bench. You can see Jeff and Brad talking, no doubt, talking about whether they're going to allow Porcello to finish it or not. Porcello knows they're talking about him. Take a look at his eyes. How he peeks over at him to see if he can eavesdrop into the conversation.
Yeah, right there. There you go. What are you thinking, Skip? Well, Porcello would love a shot to go back out in the 9th inning. In the meantime, Castellanos leads it off into right field for Alex Rios. 1 gone. How about a game summary tonight? It's been all Tigers in this one. Ian Kinsler, 2 more hits, 6 for 12 in the series. Pretty good homecoming for Ian. Well, Cabrera's had a huge night tonight, and Rick Porcello, what more can you say about his numbers? Awfully good. Austin Jackson looks at a strike. Grounded toward third, foul. 0-2 now on AJ. Jackson 2-run single back in the third. Baker trying to finish this one off after he came on in the early parts of this game, the third inning. And the Tigers knocked Nick Martinez out of the game. Here's the 0-2. Wouldn't chase. Jackson now 22 driven in this year. And the 1-2. Stayed high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baker's gone 6 innings so far in this game, all in relief. Swing and a miss right through the breaking ball. 2 outs. It's his 3rd strikeout. Meanwhile, Porcello getting ready to come out in the 9th inning, it appears.
The most pitches that Porcello has thrown in his career in a game is 120. He did that back in 2011. He's at 105 right now.
Pulled, but right at the second baseman. Sardinas on the grass makes the play. The Tigers go 1-2-3, which means Rick Porcello is coming back out for the bottom of the 9th.
On 12 hits, no runs for the Texas Rangers. They only have 3 hits. And let's take a look at the big boys, big plays of the game. And it's been all Rick Porcello on that bump here tonight. He has twirled a gem, 12 ground ball outs. He has sprinkled in a few ground balls as well, but you love the infielders. They're always busy behind Porcello. They make all the plays. 105 pitches thrown so far, looking to throw his 2nd complete game of his major league career.
Well, in order to get it, he's going to have to go through the top of the lineup. Martin, Andrus, and Chu. There are the numbers on Porcello. His only other career complete game, or his only to this point, was back in September of last year at Chicago. And Porcello faces Leonis Martin. And he looks at ball 1 high.
This may be one of those situations where if anybody gets on base, then Brad Ausmus will simply get Porcello some help to finish this one off.
Phil Koch is tuning in the Tigers pen right now. Here's the 1-0. That's in there.
Phil Koch is quietly turning his season around. with his last 5 appearances.
Fouled back out of play. Koch has 11 strikeouts and 1 walk in his last 10 1/3. And the month of June has really provided him an opportunity to get it turned around.
And that bullpen and the Tigers desperately needed him to pitch the way that he's been pitching. It's almost like ever since he cut his hair off. I'm serious.
It's a ground ball to second. Let's check in with Trevor Thompson now. He's got a preview of Phil Koch's hair and what's coming up on Tigers Live.
Yeah, just 2 more outs for Tigers Live here on Fox Sports Detroit tonight. Whether or not Rick Porcello goes the distance here, we'll find out what he thinks about his start as the Tigers looking to complete the sweep here tonight. We'll also find out from me and Kinsler inside the clubhouse how his return to Texas went overall. That and a whole lot more coming up on Tigers Live immediately following the game. But let's get the final 2 outs. So back up to you guys for that for now.
All right, Trev, thanks. I would imagine Mr. Kinsler will have some positive things to say about his return here to Texas.
And Trevor T has had some really happy clubhouses on this the start of this 9-game road trip.
Always a good thing. Elvis Andrus, the batter. He has knocked into 2 double plays tonight. He has a single in his other at bat.
Go figure. A guy with his speed.
Grounded to third. Is going to get by Castellanos. Suarez backs him up, throws him out.
Nice communication there between Suarez and also Castellanos. Castellanos went over and he could have made the play, but Suarez simply calls him off, and look at Nick just simply pulled the hand behind the back. That is real nice communication there between the left side of the infield.
2 up, 2 down, 1 more out for Porcello. Shin-Soo Choo is the only thing that stands between Porcello and his 2nd major league complete game.
Dominant pitching performance tonight by Porcello.
And a lot of times when you use the word dominant to describe a pitching effort, a lot of strikeouts are involved. Not so with Rick. It's the ground ball is almost his strikeout.
14 of them.
Here's the 1-0 to Choo. Close. No cigar. 2-0. Shin-Soo 0 for 3. And Porcello now with 2-0. Two and 1. On the ground at third, backhanded by Castellanos. And the Tigers will sweep the series, and Rick Porcello goes the distance. What an effort tonight from Rick Porcello's 2nd career complete game. And the first time in his career that he gives up no runs in back-to-back starts.
To 115 pitches in this game to complete this contest.
Rick was sparkling tonight. His 10th win of the season. Tigers win at 6-0. We'll be back.